Hello, everyone. I'm joined by Coach Jim Mora Jr. once again. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, right after the Niners made the trade. Now we've had more time to really marinate on their options, and I'd love to know what Jim Mora thinks of each quarterback the Niners could take. Jim, thanks for joining me this morning.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So right now, the betting favorite in Vegas for the Niners at number 3 is Justin Fields. What do you like about him? Let's start with his strengths.
Well, I like the fact he's a winner.
Okay.
You know, I love his record at Ohio State. I think you've got to put some stock in the fact that you're drafting a kid that knows how to win. I think that the fact that he played at a school like Ohio State, he played in big games and against great teams on a national stage and performed well says a lot about him. I think the way he responded this year in the college football playoff to the disappointment from the year before says a lot about his competitive nature. I think he's a great decision maker with the football, as evidenced by his touchdown to interception ratio. Now, he's not perfect. He's going to try to force some throws. He's still developing. I love his mobility. I love his ability to actually stand in the pocket and throw it, but yet get out of the pocket, be creative, keep his eyes up the field, keep the ball in a throwing position, remain a threat as a passer, and get the ball downfield late with accuracy, and still have the ability to tuck it and run and make critical yards if he needs to. You've seen him make some tremendous runs. I wouldn't characterize him as a running quarterback. I'd characterize him as a really great quarterback that can also threaten you with his legs. I like his size and stature. I like his demeanor. I like his toughness. There's not a lot that I don't like. I guess, if you want to be hypercritical, the way the ball comes out of his hand, or, you see some quarterbacks that throw a more pure pass or have a more pure motion, but he gets it done. And as I watched him the last 2 years perform, I was always captivated. I always wanted to see what he was going to do. And he convinced me that he's an elite player.
When you talk about his motion, could you explain what you mean? It's not the most pure, if you were going to say that, single that as his biggest weakness.
Well, yeah. And it's not, I don't know that it's a weakness. It's just an observation.
Sure.
When you watch, let's say you watch Trevor Lawrence throw the football, the way his arm moves through his motion and the way the ball comes out of his hand, there's just a purity to it. Certain quarterbacks, the ball just comes off their hand in a different way. And with Justin Fields, it's when I say it's a little bit more labored, I don't want anyone to think that he throws labored, because he doesn't. He throws a nice ball. It's just not as fluid, as loose, as natural. It's maybe a little bit more of a learned motion. And if that's the thing we're picking on, then he's fine.
Yes.
He's fine.
Especially given all of the dual threat capabilities he gives you.
Absolutely.
What I want to ask you, what I'm going to ask you for each prospect is, how coachable is the one weakness that you've identified? Because that's what you're looking at as a coach, right? With these 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds.
Oh, it's coachable. And like, once again, I don't want to call it a weakness. It's just because I don't think it's a weakness. If it was a weakness, he wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be talking about him at this point in the draft, being a pick that the 49ers are considering. It's just a difference with some of the other guys.
Fair.
Different than Trevor, different than Zach. The ball just looks different coming out of their hand than it does out of his hand. But you know what? The ball looked different coming out of John Elway's hand than it does, coming out of Trevor Lawrence's hand as well. It's just his style. It's not as pretty. But
got it.
I'm going to go back to this. The kid is a great competitor, and he's a winner. He's a big time winner.